The Village of Shadows. In the heart of the African savanna, where the sun painted the land golden by day and the moon cast silvery trails by night, lay the village of Nyama. It was a place of song and laughter, where children danced to the rhythms of drums and elders told stories under the stars. Yet, beyond the joy and camaraderie, a shadow loomed. The Kweza, mountain-dwelling cannibals, were the bane of Nyama. Their raids were swift and merciless, leaving behind nothing but silence and sorrow. The villagers whispered tales of their brutality, saying they devoured not only flesh but also the souls of their victims, trapping them in an endless torment. One evening, as the village prepared for the festival of harvest, the elder, Kulumbuso, stood before the gathering. His voice trembled with age but carried the weight of wisdom. "The spirits have spoken," he declared. "The Kweza's reign of terror will end, but only through the courage of one chosen by the ancestors. Watch the skies tonight, for the stars will reveal their messenger." That night, as the drums fell silent and the villagers gazed upwards, a rare lunar eclipse painted the heavens in hues of blood red. A child was born under the shadowed moon, a girl named Nthanda. Nestled deep within an ancient, dense forest in the heart of a mystical African land lies the Village of Shadows. Encircled by towering trees that whisper secrets with the wind, the village exists in uneasy harmony with its surroundings. The villagers live in small, clay huts with thatched roofs, their lives defined by an unrelenting rhythm of survival. A veil of fear hangs over the community, for beyond the forest, in the shadowy expanse of the mountains, lurks a terrifying clan of cannibals. The mountains, shrouded in mist, are a forbidden place. Their jagged peaks seem to pierce the sky, and the villagers speak of the eerie cries that echo down the slopes on moonless nights. According to legend, the cannibals are not mere mortals but cursed beings, bound to their gruesome hunger by an ancient spell. They are said to emerge under the cover of darkness, their presence heralded by the scent of burning wood and faint, haunting chants. The villagers have devised intricate rituals and safeguards to protect themselves. They burn sacred herbs around the perimeter of their homes, believing the smoke will keep the cannibals at bay. At night, elders tell tales of bravery and loss, teaching the young to respect the boundaries of the forest and to heed the warnings of their ancestors. Despite their fear, the villagers are resilient, relying on their unity and cunning to survive. They whisper of a prophecy that foretells a savior, a child born under the shadow moon, who will end the reign of terror. Until then, they live with vigilance, knowing that every shadow holds a story and every story a lesson about the price of survival in the Village of Shadows. The threat of the cannibals. The village of Nyama, nestled in a serene clearing surrounded by towering ancient trees, is a place of harmony and tradition. Its people, bound by shared history and rituals, celebrate life with song, dance, and storytelling. The crackling fires in the village square bring warmth and community, but behind the laughter and music lies a pervasive fear. The Kweza, a clan of fearsome cannibals, descend from the shadowed peaks of the nearby mountains to wreak havoc on the villagers. Known for their relentless hunger and supernatural cunning, the Kweza are said to be cursed spirits rather than ordinary men. Their attacks are swift and merciless, often striking on the darkest nights. The villagers speak of their eerie chants carried on the wind, the haunting precursor to their raids. In this fragile peace, a prophecy looms large over the villagers. The revered elder, Ngeru, tells of a child destined to deliver Nyama from the grip of the Kweza. According to the prophecy, this savior will be born under a rare celestial alignment, a night when the moon and stars cast an otherworldly shadow across the land. This child will wield a power tied to the spirits of the forest and the wisdom of the ancestors. As the years pass, the prophecy becomes the villagers' hope and their greatest fear. They await the birth of the chosen one, knowing that the fate of their village, and their survival, rests in the fulfillment of this ancient promise. When a young mother gives birth under the prophesied celestial event, whispers ripple through Nyama. Is this child the one who will stand against the Kweza and reclaim peace for the village? Or will the prophecy only invite greater danger from the shadows? Nthanda's story begins on the fateful night of a lunar eclipse, when the moon glows a deep crimson, casting an eerie light across the village of Nyema. Her birth is heralded by whispers among the villagers, who believe she is the child foretold in the prophecy. Even as an infant, Nthanda exhibits an otherworldly calmness, her eyes seeming to reflect the mysteries of the forest itself. As she grows, Nthanda develops an uncanny connection to the natural world. She can calm frightened animals with a mere touch and hear the faint whispers of the wind that others cannot. The village elder, Ngeru, becomes her mentor, teaching her about the spirits of the forest and the ancestors who protect Nyema. Yet, her gift isolates her, leaving her feeling like an outsider even in her own village. One fateful night, the Kweza launch a brutal raid on Nyema, leaving devastation in their wake. Among the lives lost are Nthanda's family, a blow that shatters her world but steals her resolve. Driven by grief and a fierce desire to protect what remains of her home, Nthanda decides to fulfill her destiny. She vows to end the reign of terror and restore peace to the village. Her journey begins in the depths of the forest, where she encounters allies who share her cause. First is Malu, a cunning hunter whose sharp wit and unmatched tracking skills are invaluable. Next is Bako, a wise old shaman who teaches Nthanda to harness her spiritual gift and unlock the full potential of her connection to the ancestors. Finally, she meets Tibo, a brave orphan who seeks vengeance against the Kweza for the loss of his parents. Together, this unlikely band faces treacherous trials, from navigating cursed terrains to confronting their own fears. Nthanda's ability to communicate with animals proves essential as they traverse the wilderness, relying on the guidance of birds, the strength of elephants, and the wisdom of the ancient trees. Along the way, Nthanda grows into a leader, her bond with her companions and the spirits deepening as they prepare for the ultimate confrontation with the Kweza. Into the Cannibals' lair. The journey to the mountains begins at dawn, with the forest's shadows stretching long and ominous. Nthanda and her companions, Malu, Bako, and Tibo, brace themselves for the treacherous path ahead. Every step is fraught with danger as they enter the forbidden territory of the Kweza. The mountain slopes are littered with eerie remnants of destruction, crumbled huts, scattered belongings, and bone fragments telling silent stories of villages that once thrived. The group's resolve hardens with each grim sight, but their path grows more perilous. Deadly traps set by the Kweza test Malu's sharp instincts, as hidden snares and collapsing rockslides threaten their progress. As they climb higher, the air thickens with an unnatural chill, and the forest gives way to barren terrain. Here, they face supernatural creatures born of the curse that binds the Kweza, shadowy beasts with glowing eyes and claws sharp enough to tear through stone. Nthanda's connection to the spirits proves vital as she calms a possessed animal and receives guidance from ancestral whispers, helping the group avoid disaster. Deep in the mountains, the group stumbles upon an ancient cave marked with cryptic carvings. Bako, the shaman, deciphers the symbols, unraveling the dark origins of the Kweza. Once a noble tribe, they betrayed their ancestors by desecrating sacred lands in pursuit of power. Enraged, the spirits cursed them, stripping away their humanity and binding them to an insatiable hunger for flesh. This revelation weighs heavily on Nthanda. She realizes the Kweza are not just enemies but victims of their own hubris and the wrath of the ancestors. As the group prepares to confront the Kweza, Nthanda is torn between her mission to save her village and the possibility of breaking the curse that condemns the Kweza to their monstrous existence. The final confrontation. The group descends into the heart of the Kweza's lair, a sprawling labyrinth of caves etched into the mountainside. The air is thick with the stench of decay, and the walls are adorned with grotesque carvings that depict the Kweza's cursed history. Bones and relics of their horrifying deeds litter the ground, each one a grim reminder of the lives lost to their insatiable hunger. Nthanda led the way, her heart pounding as the whispers of the ancestral spirits grew louder, urging her forward. The air in the Kweza's lair was heavy with an unnatural chill, the oppressive darkness pressing in from all sides. Her companions followed closely, each step a test of courage. Malu, the cunning hunter, kept his bow at the ready, his sharp eyes scanning the shadows for any signs of movement. Thibaut, the brave orphan, gripped his spear tightly, his face set with grim determination. Bako, the wise shaman, walked behind them, softly chanting under his breath to summon protective wards that shimmered faintly around the group. They had barely entered the labyrinth of caves when the first Kweza sentries attacked. The twisted forms of the cursed tribe moved with unnatural speed, their bodies contorted in ways that defied human anatomy. Their glowing eyes and snarling faces were a testament to the torment they endured. Malu's arrows flew true, striking down the sentries with precision honed through years of hunting. Thibaut fought with a ferocity that belied his young age, his spear finding its mark time and again. Meanwhile, Bako's chants grew louder, forming an invisible barrier that deflected the Kweza's dark magic, protecting the group from harm. As they pushed deeper into the lair, the attacks intensified. The caves echoed with the haunting cries of the Kweza, a sound that chilled Nthanda's blood but also strengthened her resolve. She closed her eyes for a brief moment, reaching out to the spirits of her ancestors. The air around her seemed to shimmer, and then, one by one, the ethereal forms of the spirits appeared. Their translucent figures illuminated the darkness, their presence filling the cavern with a powerful energy that bolstered the group's courage. With the spirits at her side, Nthanda called upon the creatures of the forest. A mighty leopard emerged from the shadows, its golden eyes glinting with fierce loyalty. A herd of elephants appeared, their massive forms rumbling the ground as they moved with purpose. High above, watchful owls circled, their keen eyes scanning for threats. Together, the living, the spirits, and the animals formed a force unlike any other, united against the Kweza. The battle reached a fever pitch as the group fought their way through the labyrinth. The Kweza were relentless, their desperation driving them to attack with even greater ferocity. Yet, Nthanda and her companions pressed on, their unity and determination proving stronger than the cursed tribe's fury. Malu's arrows and Thibaut's spear were complemented by the strength of the elephants, who crushed barriers and scattered enemies in their path. The spirit's ethereal presence disoriented the Kweza, and the owls struck with precision, their talons finding vulnerable spots. Finally, they reached the core of the lair, a vast chamber pulsating with a sinister, shadowy energy. At its center stood the source of the Kweza's curse, a dark, pulsating artifact that seemed alive, its surface shifting and writhing as if resisting their presence. The artifact was encased in a twisted, jagged frame of bone and stone, radiating a malevolent aura that made it difficult to approach. Bako stepped forward, his voice trembling with awe and fear as he explained the artifact's significance. "This is the heart of their curse," he said. "The ancestors' punishment made manifest. To destroy it would free the Kweza from their torment, but it would also come at a cost." The ancestors' whispers grew louder in Nthanda's mind, guiding her closer to the artifact. They revealed the truth, breaking the curse would restore the Kweza to their human forms, but not all of them would survive the transformation. Some, having lived as monsters for so long, would be too frail to endure the change. Moreover, the act of destroying the artifact would unleash a surge of unstable energy, threatening the balance of the spirit world and the mortal realm. Nthanda's heart ached with the weight of the decision before her. She could leave the artifact intact, ensuring the safety of her village by keeping the Kweza contained within their cursed existence. But doing so would mean condemning them to eternal suffering and denying them a chance at redemption. Alternatively, she could destroy the artifact, freeing the Kweza but risking chaos and instability. Her companions watched her intently, their faces reflecting their own inner turmoil. Malu's pragmatic nature urged caution, while Thibaut's youthful passion called for justice. Bako's wisdom reminded them all of the delicate balance they sought to protect. Yet, it was Nthanda's choice to make, and she knew it must come from the depths of her own soul. Closing her eyes, she reached out once more to the ancestors. Their presence enveloped her like a warm embrace, their voices offering guidance but leaving the final decision to her. She thought of her village, of the lives lost to the Kweza's raids, and of the cursed tribe themselves, victims of their own hubris, trapped in a cycle of pain and despair. With a deep breath, Nthanda made her choice. Guided by the wisdom of the ancestors and her unwavering belief in compassion and redemption, she stepped forward and placed her hands on the artifact. The dark energy surged through her, testing her resolve, but she stood firm. Summoning all her strength, she called upon the spirits, the forest's creatures, and her companions to lend her their power. With a resounding crack, the artifact shattered, unleashing a blinding light that engulfed the chamber. The force of the explosion knocked everyone to the ground, and for a moment, there was only silence. When the light faded, the Kweza's monstrous forms were gone, replaced by frail, human figures. Some lay motionless, unable to withstand the transformation, while others stirred weakly, their eyes filled with confusion and pain. Nthanda knelt among them, her heart heavy with the bittersweet outcome. The ancestors' voices returned, their tone one of solemn pride. "You have chosen wisely," they said. "Compassion is the path to true strength. The Kweza's curse is lifted, and a new chapter begins for all." The group helped the surviving Kweza to their feet, offering comfort and reassurance. The spirits lingered for a moment longer, their forms glowing with approval before fading into the ether. The animals, too, departed, their task complete. As Nthanda and her companions began the journey home, the weight of their experiences settled over them. The lair was silent now, its darkness banished, but the memories of what had transpired would linger forever. They returned to Nyama not as mere villagers but as heroes, carrying with them the promise of a new era. The village welcomed them with awe and gratitude, their courage inspiring hope. Nthanda's actions became the foundation of her legacy, a story passed down through generations as a testament to the power of compassion, unity, and the strength found in choosing redemption over vengeance. For the Kweza survivors, the path to reintegration was fraught with challenges, but Nthanda's leadership and the village's resilience forged a way forward. Together, they rebuilt their lives, transforming the pain of the past into a brighter, shared future. And though the shadows of the mountains would always remain, they no longer held the power to instill fear, for light now shone where darkness once reigned.